Hey everybody, welcome to the Daily Mastermind. I am Paul Baxter with the Mortgage Mastermind Group, here to help you grow, and we have been focused on presentations, and yesterday we talked about presenting directly to the consumers. We talked about the importance of niches within that and how you can build the audience that way, and today we're going to focus on getting the consumers in the seats. How do you get consumers to want what you have? And targeting a responsive audience, how to get them to kind of show up, fill the seats up at the restaurant or where you're doing your presentation. So yesterday we talked about what to present to buyers, and that has a big impact on the response rate that you get. If the class is a subject that appeals to them, they'll register, but if the class doesn't make sense to them, they're simply not. And so the best way to kind of start off the program, we talked about it yesterday, have your follow-up plan in place. But really, before you think about how you're going to get consumers into the seats, you've got to develop a presentation, you've got to develop your class that is something that a good number of consumers are going to want. So sit down for a minute or pick up the phone and ask your agents what classes would benefit their clients most. What kind of questions are you getting from your buyers? What kind of questions are you getting on a regular basis that would help educate, if they knew this information up front, would help your clients the most? And that'll point you in the right direction, because your invitations will be more like a movie trailer of your subject matter. It'll be kind of like a little trailer of what you're going to be presenting on. Little snippets of really great information, but not enough that they know the full story. And so that's how you're really going to begin to think about how you're going to start getting consumers into the seats. Find out what it is from your agents, what it is that they want, and develop your class first around that, so that as you develop your marketing materials to get them in the seats, you're making a movie trailer of what you'll actually presenting on. Your class subject will also determine your list for down the line, and we're going to talk about some direct mail things and lists in a little bit. So your subject matter is going to help determine what your list is. So be prepared to market your seminar in several different ways, but all those ways to the right audience. And yes, some of the ways when you're talking about consumer direct marketing, to do it right, to really get the impact that you're looking for, to get the right people there, you may have to spend a little money on direct marketing or marketing to consumers directly to get them to your seminars. And that's specifically what we're talking about. And so there is some cost involved in what we'll discuss today. And unfortunately, I can't give you a direct cost on it, and you'll understand what we mean when we get to that portion. Your realtor partners and other referral partners are great ways to help you market your seminars and get the word out that you're doing it and help you get RSVPs. But that's only a good beginning. There's other things that you got to do. So you're going to create the marketing materials for your partners and for yourself. So whether you're just relying on your realtor partners or your title company or your insurance company partners to help you market it, or you're going to be doing it with them, you need to be the one that creates the materials. Provide them with what is needed, because realistically, this is your show. You've got to run your show. So you're going to need to sit down and create the materials. And what you're going to need is a good email. And a good email campaign is great. Maybe you write 3 emails that go out over a couple of periods of time, and that's awesome. But a video is really, really great. And inviting them via video, and we'll talk about that here today, is really an awesome way to help brand yourself, to differentiate yourself, and to kind of stand out and allow your message to stand out. It's also a really neat way to get the person on the other end, the viewer, to kind of get to know you a little bit before they've actually met you. You're going to need a colorful flyer, again, with enough information to entice the reader, but not too much information. You want to wet their whistle, but you don't want to give them the whole meal, so to speak. And then 3, you're going to need a good direct mail piece. You're going to set it up like a greeting card. And that's where, as I mentioned, that's where the cost is involved, and we'll go over that. I feel it's a necessary part of this strategy if you're talking about consumer direct presentations or seminars, I think it's an essential part, and yes, it does cost money. And you can debate that and everything else, but we're going to talk about direct mail as part of it. And I realize it costs a little bit of money, but it does work, and especially in today's market when email is so saturated, but the direct mail, their mailbox is not. Make sure the message is the same across all of the different medias that you use. Your email, the message, the benefits that you portray need to be the same as the flyer and as the direct mail piece and as your video. Your email needs to be short and sweet, but long enough to entice the reader to take action, because that's really what your marketing pieces need to do, is generate an action step. And that action step is based on your call to action to RSVP for your specific event. We'll talk about cost in a minute on that, James. I spent 7 years of my business life working in a direct mail firm, and there are some ways that you can minimize the cost. There's also some ways that can cost you extra money, and I'll share with you my thoughts on that and where you don't want to skimp, but also ways that you can go ahead and afford to skimp. So we'll talk about that shortly. Your email needs to give them enough to wet their whistle, but again, not so much that they know everything, but you want to encourage them to take action. Give specific benefits, not features. Really it goes back to that old saying, the benefits, not features. This car comes equipped with a seat belt. This seat belt can help save your life in case of an accident. The difference is a seat belt is a feature, whereas the seat belt can save your life in an accident is a benefit. Give the benefits, not the features. Give specific directions on how they can take advantage of the benefits that you portray. You've got to give a direct, specific call to action. Here's what you have to do to get it. Okay, RSVP at, save your seat at, make sure you don't miss it by this. Whatever the case may be in your message, you want to make sure that they have specific directions on how they can take advantage of it. And so the email, again, it's pretty basic. I've got all the bases covered. You're invited to attend what every first-time home buyer should know, a free seminar designed to help dispel all the myths and help people just like you understand the home buying process. We will also be covering different government-sponsored and non-government-sponsored programs that has saved home buyers just like you thousands of dollars on their home purchases. Now, I put that in red. I need your help there. Am I allowed to say that? Is that a RESPA violation? Am I allowed to say that? Is that something you guys are allowed to say? James, a list of your benefits is going to be directly related to what your subject matter is. And again, I have never done a loan. I don't know how to answer frequently asked questions of first-time home buyers. I don't know what the big benefits are, so I can't provide you with the list of benefits. Does anybody know? Nobody's responding to that. Am I allowed to say that in an email? That will also be covering government-sponsored and non-government-sponsored programs that have saved home buyers just like you thousands of dollars on their home purchase. That's not like an offer of credit. I'm not, I'm not saying I'm going to save them specifically $1,000. I'm saying it's helped save home buyers just like them thousands of dollars. Am I okay in saying that, you guys think? I'm no RESPA attorney, and I know you're not either, so if you're going to use this script, I wanted to have something that really, really gives a good benefit. Home buyers just like them saving thousands of dollars on their home purchase, that's a pretty good size benefit to get somebody to take action. Dispel the myths and help people just like you understand the home buying process. But my big benefit is saying that home buyers just like them have saved thousands of dollars from this information. I think I'm okay there. I want you guys' opinion. So if anybody has anything on that, please feel free to share. If you do use this, run it by your compliance people. I'm not positive on that. I know I can't make an offer of credit. I can't say that I'm going to specifically save them $1,000 if they come to this seminar based on what they'll learn. I'm just saying that, you know, I'm going to show them programs that have helped other home buyers like them save thousands of dollars on their home purchase. It wouldn't pass our compliance, but they're really tough. So, Jim, if you could help me think of another way, if that doesn't pass, help me think of another way to kind of say a similar thing. And Bill's saying, you know, agree, no rate or no APR. I think you're fine, and I think it's okay. But you know, as Jim mentioned, his compliance department is super tough. I mean, they won't let you. You know, they won't let you say jump, and because they're afraid the person's going to ask you how high. I mean, they're pretty tough on their compliance where Jim is, and I get that. That's an understandable thing. So, if that's a shady area for you guys, you know, change that up a little bit, but give a benefit, not a feature. And then in the email, the What Every Home Buyer Should Know seminar is, I give the specific information. You know, it's January 6, 2015, 12 to 1 p.m., Positano's Italian Restaurant, and in parentheses, lunch provided. Again, another benefit that I'm trying to entice them a little bit. To confirm your reservation, RSVP by calling or email us at, and that's your email section there. That's a very specific direction on what they need to do to make sure that they can take could save instead of discovering sponsorship programs that could save home buyers just like you. Okay, so instead of that has saved, instead of that could save home buyers just like you thousands of dollars in their home purchase. I like that, Jim. That fits just the same way, and it paints the same picture. I get the same feeling from those words that I get from that has, that you know, could save, instead of that has saved. I get the same feeling from that, and that's what you're trying to portray as a feeling. And then, again, going towards the bottom here, you just want to give them specific directions on what they exactly have to do to confirm that they're going to be attending or joining us or joining you. And the RSVP is your information. That RSVP is your information. Remember, you're the director, you're the organizer, you're the producer of this seminar, and so your partners should allow you to have the RSVP. And if they want to change it up to their own, that's fine. You just got to know and trust, or make it a very big point that you have to get that information, because that's part of how you're setting it up with the restaurant. You need to make sure everything is in place, and it's important that you have an RSVP list for the entire thing, so on and so forth. Okay? Now, if it were me, I'd be doing a video instead of an email, because it brands you as different. It gives the viewer a chance to get to know you, and plus you get the added benefit of doing a little bit of SEO on it on YouTube. And that's not to get signups for this current upcoming one, but what happens 2 months from now, 3 months from now, 8 months from now, when somebody's doing a Google search that says, you know, first-time home buyer information for Palm Harbor, and a buyer's looking for that online, and poof, my video pops up in front of them with my information, and I'm branded now as an expert in front of them. The seminar's over, but it's me offering the class. Maybe they pick up the phone and call me and say, hey, do you still offer this seminar? No, but I'd be glad to get together with you. Or, yes, I've got another one coming up on this date. Would you like to join us? Hey, tell me about your situation. Are you looking for a home? Great. What's the budget you have set for purchasing a home? Great. What's the name of the loan provider who's got you pre-approved for that amount? Oh, you're not working with one yet. Great. And so on and so forth. So you get that marketing equity out of it by including it in SEO. So there's some added benefits to what you do with your video long past when your video is active for that particular invite. And you're going to use the same thing you would have sent in an email. So the script would just go like this. Hey there, Paul Baxter with the Legacy Mortgage Group. You're invited to attend what every first-time home buyer should know. It's a free seminar designed to help dispel all the myths and help people just like you understand the home buying process. We'll also be covering different government-sponsored and non-government-sponsored programs that could save home buyers just like you thousands of dollars on your home purchase. What Every Home Buyer Should Know seminar is January 6, 2015 from noon to 1 p.m. at Positano's Italian Restaurant, and yes, we'll be providing lunch. That's at 2266 Tampa Road over in Palm Harbor, 34684 if you want to map it on your maps. And to confirm your reservation, just RSVP by picking up the phone and giving me a call at 747-221-6649 or email us at email.com. I look forward to seeing you there. Bye. And that's a short little, what'd that do, about a 25 to 30 second video right there. And James has got a great question here. It says, for a video, what would the length of time be for that video? Would you be giving too much info in the video? You've got to script it so that you don't give too much info in the video. You want to make it exactly the same thing as what I just said in that email, I'm saying in the video. I'm just doing it in form of, I'm just kind of using it as a script instead. And what did that take me? I mean, literally 25, maybe 30 seconds of video if I add a little intro and a close, like with my logo popping in or something. It's really a short, sweet video, so no, you're not going to give too much info in your video as long as you script it with the same mentality of what you're doing in your email. Give enough, not too much, get their whistle wet, but don't give them the whole meal. Give them the benefits, and then give them a specific instruction on what they need to do to take advantage of those benefits. Would you wait to schedule the date and time until after you had enough invites? No, because if you wait to schedule the date and time until after you had enough invites, what happens is it's going to take you forever to get enough invites. Without a sense of urgency, without a specific day and a specific time for your seminar, you have no sense of urgency. And without a sense of urgency, people will wait around, oh yeah, that looks interesting, I might do that. But they'll never take action on it because there's no urgency for them to take action. And so you have to have that date and that time scheduled, implemented, done before you get your invites out, because you've got to create that sense of urgency with the viewer or the reader or the person receiving your invite to need to take action now, as opposed to, yeah, that's a cool idea, I'd like to do that, but then never take action because they don't have any real reason to take action yet. Does that make sense? Oh, man, I forgot to put my water on my desk before I started the class today. I apologize for coughing on you. All right, so, again, I like the video for the email part, and again, a simple script. Just take your email and turn it into a script, and you are good to go. I like the video because video not only gives me that chance to kind of endear myself, differentiate myself with the viewer, but I'm going to get legs out of it. I'm going to get a little bit more life out of it than just that one little pop right off the bat when it gets sent out to my database or my referral partner's database, or that length of time I have it as a Facebook ad. I'm going to get a little bit more marketing equity out of it because it's living with SEO on YouTube. Oh, way less than 60 seconds. You want about half of that. Again, time at James, this is the entire script because it covers the bases. You don't want too much information and you don't want to get wordy in it. It would just be, my video would be just like this. I'm staring at the camera. Hey there, Paul Baxter with Legacy Mortgage Group here. You're invited to attend what every first-time home buyer should know. It's a free seminar designed to help dispel all the myths and help people just like you understand the home buying process. We'll also be covering different government-sponsored and non-government-sponsored programs that could save home buyers just like you thousands of dollars on their home purchase. The What Every Home Buyer Should Know seminar is January 6, 2015 from noon to 1 p.m. at Positano's Italian Restaurant, and yes, we will be providing lunch. That's 2266 Tampa Road, Palm Harbor, Florida, 34684. To confirm your reservation, all you want to do is RSVP by picking up the phone and calling me, 747-221-6649. Let me know you're coming, or email me at email.com. Again, let me know you're coming. I look forward to seeing you there. I don't know if anybody timed that, but looking at my thing, it was right at about 27, 26 seconds. Not a long video at all. The shorter the better. You want them to stay for the full thing. Anything under 50 seconds is good, but the shorter the better. And I know my delivery tends to be a little bit quicker, but remember, I'm always going to include, they can play it back if they're really interested, but I don't want to pause during it because I want to get my full message out. Now, you're going to use PowerPoint to create a cool flyer. You want to have something for your people to hand out. And we'll talk about where to get these out, but you're going to use PowerPoint to create that colorful flyer we talked about needing to help you market and promote your event. You're going to give the benefits on the flyer. You want to make sure that you tell them that lunch is provided. That's going to go a long way on getting people to take that action step, especially off the flyer. You want to give them the details of the event, and you want to tell them exact directions on how to confirm. And so I just jotted this down. I spent maybe 45 minutes putting together this quick little flyer, what every first-time home buyer should know. We will cover. I gave the specific benefits, put a little banner in there that talked about lunch provided by Frankie McTitle over, and Eagle Title Company. So I kind of gave my kudos where my co-partners are. I've got my branding in here presented to you by your name, your company, your phone number, your email. I've got the specific details of the event, and then I give specific directions. Now, I didn't take much time. I spent very, very little time on this flyer. And so with looking at this, a couple of ways that I would probably spruce this up. I would probably change this middle section, maybe add a wonderful lunch at Positano's provided by. Maybe add a little bit of a message there. This is so empty over here. And so I may have a little bit more of an RSVP that I would kind of make a more special note to focus on, don't miss this great event, and a little, a flash thing that tells them how to RSVP. So I would maybe spruce it up a little bit before I had a finished product, but it really doesn't take much time to create those things. And James, we kind of talked about that the other day. We talked about getting free lunch brigaders, and if it's competitors to come and sit there for an hour of their time and learn your system and get a free lunch, you'll kind of know who your competitors are. Again, they're RSVPing with you. So if you get a name and that phone number, you call them up to confirm, and they answer the phone with, "Hey, Legacy Mortgage. Oh, hi, this is James over at, ABC Mortgage. I was calling because you're registered for my event, but I noticed you're in the mortgage business. Never mind, you're uninvited. Listen, I appreciate you being interested in what I'm doing, but I'm trying to allow my seats to be filled by as many consumers as possible. If you want to sit down sometime and treat me to a lunch, I'll be happy to share with you what I'm doing strategy-wise, but I'm kind of reserving these seats for members." You're going to have a chance to call all of them. If they RSVP, you're going to have a chance to, because we're going to go into that in just a minute here on exactly what you're going to be doing to confirm the people that are coming. And again, you'll have a follow-up opportunity, but you're going to get some of the free lunch brigade. We talked about that yesterday, as you need some of that to fill, get as many people in there or close to your max number as you can, because you want people to feel comfortable in that environment, because you want to have a chance to differentiate, recognize who the players are and who the non-players are, and the free lunch brigade will identify itself very, very quickly at your presentations. Very quickly they'll identify themselves. And in terms of controlling your number, you have a set number. You always go into it with a specific number as your max. And then when you get to your max, what an awesome thing it is, and what an amazing feeling it creates with the person on the other end of the line that calls you up and says, "Hey, my name's Paul Baxter. I was calling. I got your invitation to the class about what every first-time home buyer should know on January 6th, and I wanted to RSVP. And for you to say to me, Oh, Paul, unfortunately, we are completely filled for that seminar. We will be doing it again, but I tell you what, I'll be glad to sit with you or talk with you about some of the ins and outs and go over what we're going to be talking about in the class. Are you looking to purchase a home currently? You are, and have you owned a home in the past? No, so you're a first-time buyer. That's great. Have you and your husband talked about, or you and your wife, because I call this Paul Baxter, have you and your wife talked at all about a budget for what you're going about for purchasing your home? No? Okay. Well, listen, let's make a time where we can get together and sit down and go over some of these questions that you've got. I'll be more than happy to share with you. I mean, you just take it from there. It's really, what an awesome thing for you to be able to tell somebody on the other end of the line that your seminar is completely booked, but you'd love to be able to help them and start asking them questions. That person on the other end of the line, because your seminar is booked, you don't even got to present to them anymore before you're already an expert, because your seminar is already booked and you're telling them they can be on a waiting list. Sorry, you don't have any room for them. You're already an expert and you haven't even presented anything to those people. They've never even heard you speak and you're already an expert because your seminar is booked. And so you can lead them down to any path you'd like. And the best path to lead them, take that opportunity to ask them some questions. Pre-qualify them a little bit, and if there's something that's a real deal for you, make that opportunity. Hey, unfortunately, that seminar is completely filled up. A great response to it, and I'm super excited that you're interested in it. Unfortunately, that seminar is booked up. I've got another one that I'll be doing in the month of February. But if you guys are in the market to purchase a home, I don't want you to have to wait that long. I tell you what, do you mind if I ask you a couple questions? And I'll be more than glad to help you out and answer some of the questions that you have about purchasing a home. Great. Let's go. Let's talk. And you begin that conversation. Really easy to convert into that conversation. But again, this flyer, guys, I would spruce it up a little bit, but it's an easy handout. It's an easy something that you can give to your agents to hand out at open houses. Absolutely, they'll be glad to. They want to be seen as somebody that's there to provide information and knowledge as well. Every one of the realtor marketing gurus is telling your real estate agents, oh, give your buyers something of value, make them remember you. Well, they want to sit there. They're looking for reasons and things to give out and things to pass around. Give them some of your flyers to pass out at the open houses. Oh, shoot, edit the flyer to put there in for co-sponsored by. Let them be a co-sponsor and hand them out at all their open houses. Have the kid put them on the windshield over at apartment complexes. Drive up to an apartment complex, find one of the local neighborhood kids there, give them $20 if he'll go around and put these on all the cars' windshields. Why not? Ask the apartment manager to post the flyer in the mailbox bulletin boards. You know how every apartment complex, the mailboxes are all in one spot, and every mailbox spot has a bulletin board. The good apartment complexes even have a little plexiglass over the front of it, so your flyer doesn't have to be replaced every 2 days. Ask the apartment manager to post that flyer that you created in those mailbox bulletin boards. Ask the apartment manager to include your flyer in the monthly newsletter. So one of the referral partners that I think is forgotten by all of you, and it goes a long way. It goes a long way in terms of helping you in multiple ways, and that's the mentality that's creating this, James. Is apartment managers do not want to lose their tenants. Here's the thing about apartment managers. They know, especially your better apartment complexes, that are typically housing people that are newly moved to town, that are transitional. The apartment managers are smart people. They are managing the entire complex. These are smart people. They understand and they recognize that a large majority of their tenants are in and out type of people that are short term. They're there because they moved into town and needed an apartment while they look for a home. They're people that are divorced, that are, they're in between homes while they're looking for a home. They understand that a lot of their clientele are people that are going to be homeowners at some point. They want for those people that are currently living there to talk of the better apartment complexes get a vast majority of their clientele from people word of mouth. Word of mouth being, other tenants telling them, you work at the same corporate, oh yeah, come down here, you got to move to Brook Ridge. It's a great apartment complex. They take care of you. They really go out of their way. That's what apartment managers want. They're not concerned about, they know they're going to lose their clients eventually, but they want to provide them the most amount of services. They want to provide them the best living experience, the most information. They want to provide them with a sense of being a part of a community. I know that apartment managers will give you opportunity. They want you to come in and do seminars at the apartment complex in their meeting rooms because it's a feature, it's a benefit that they provide to the tenants there. Those tenants will then tell other people who will then become tenants. They know that they sign people up 7 months. Every 7 months they're going to have a turnover. Every year they're going to have a turnover of some sort. Yes, so we have some, so the question is, so we have some complexes the rent is $1,500 to $2,500 a month. That's who I should go after. Those are the apartment managers that you should go after because the people that are renting them are profession. Those are people that are, moving into Pittsburgh because they got a job at the corporation in the building downtown, and they needed a really nice apartment to stay in. It's in between type. You're going to find that there's an opportunity there. Your apartment managers, they want to provide these features or these benefits to their tenants. They understand going into the relationship that their tenants are not there for 4 years. They don't rent places thinking they're going to get 5 years of rent out of this person. They look at it as 7 months or a year, and then this person's going to purchase a home. 7 months or a year. So they're always looking for ways to provide a better environment so that word of mouth brings more people to them, especially the ones that are $1,200, $1,500 a month. That's a different kind of person, and marketing to that kind of renter is different than what others do. Distribute to neighborhoods with high number of rentals. Those are great neighborhoods to distribute your home buying flyers to as well. How to introduce yourself to them? Walk in with some sort of, boy, that's a good one. Let's think about that a little while when we go through this. We'll talk about that. All right, so have distribute your flyers in neighborhoods with high numbers of rentals. That's always another great place to get people to see you, to get potential people that would register and come to your presentation to see you. Okay? And then have a greeting card created and sent to a targeted list. Direct mail companies can help you create this, and is part of the benefit or part of the service when you use them. Direct mail companies handle every aspect of your thing, soup to nuts. They can handle the list. They'll go out and buy the list. Most of your up and up direct mail firms will even make recommendations in terms of demographics. They're going to help you with the creative, meaning they're going to help you design your greeting card or your flyer. You always get final approval no matter what. Just make sure that you ask for that. Hey, I want final approval on anything. They'll still do all the creative and send it to you, send you proof and proof and proof until you approve it. They're going to print and stuff the envelope. So they're going to print the greeting card for you and stuff the envelope for you. They're going to pay the postage on it, and they're going to deliver it to the postage office box in bulk after stuffing and posting it, and get it mailed. So there is a cost associated with direct mail, but there is also they also do all of the difficult parts of this kind of marketing for you. You're not sitting there stuffing envelopes for the next 2 days, and that's not a good use of your business time. You're not licking a bunch of stamps. They got a machine for that. So that's not a good use of your business time. Typically, yeah, $1 per piece is a good number, is a good roundabout number to start with. And depending on how many you're sending out, you can get discounts greater than that, depending on how large a list you're using, how much graphics, and we'll talk about that stuff. Direct mail will cost you between about 75 cents and $2 per piece. And the variables that affect the price are obviously the number of pieces. The larger the order, let's say you're going to do 5,000 pieces, yeah, you're going to probably pay about $1 to $1.25. You talk about 10,000 pieces, now you're talking about 75, 80 cents per piece. And it goes down from there. You know, when we did with car dealerships, you know, a 20,000 piece mailer, printed, mailed, all of the extras thrown into the package would cost you about 70 cents. Yes, that's quite an investment. But what you return in that investment is far greater than that. And so, again, having partners to help you with this, you're looking at ways to be able to slow that down. Now, the reality of it is you can do a 1,000-piece mailer. You're looking to get 20 people into the room. You can do a 1,000-piece mailer, but a 1,000-piece mailer, in all reality, may return you about 5 or 6 results. It just depends on how targeted your list is. But I got to tell you that this is the way that's going to help you get the most amount of seats filled. When Ed Nauerwald talks about doing his consumer direct presentations, when he talks about doing, you know, a first-time homebuyer seminar, he's sending direct mail to the local apartment complexes. Now, I will always tell you, don't skimp on your list. Don't skimp on the demographics of your list. But when you're talking about this kind of a mailer, the reality of it is the type of list that you're looking to pull in most cases are people that live in apartment complexes. And that list costs you about 1/3 of a cent per name. So the list itself is going to cost you nothing. So then when you break it down, you can get a 5,000-piece mailer with very little demographics, very little on the graphics as far as color and things like that, very basic printing, for about 70 to 80 cents per piece. So it doesn't have to break the bank. You can do 2,500 pieces for 70, 80 cents per piece because your list is only having to target an apartment complex. It's not breaking the apartment complex down based on family stature. Is there a wife and a husband in the home? Are there children in the home? It's not breaking it down by ethnicity. It's not breaking it down by the color of their skin. It's simply targeting people that live in the apartment complexes, because if they live in the apartment complex, they're renters, right? So you take some of the good, you take some of the bad, but direct mail can really, really help you get a lot of people to make that action step, because it's helping you target the right people. Make sure that when you're going through the process with a direct mail company that you tell them that you want the final sign-off, and most direct mail firms will send you a mock-up before you even contract on a price. They'll tell you, they'll give you a quote and send you a mock-up, and then every single direct mail company, this is a word to the wise, here is a ninja secret, every direct mail company on the planet will negotiate with you. So when you get a quote, take your quote, pick up the phone and call them, have a specific number in mind, a ridiculously low number in mind, and negotiate from your ridiculously low number to their number that they start with. Every direct mail company will negotiate price with you. All of them, okay? Especially ones that do their own printing, because they have specific goals and obligations to meet on the print side of things, and they are willing to take shortcuts on the direct mail portion of it to facilitate the print side of things. Trust me on this, guys. So make sure you're paying attention to that. Your class subject will dictate what type of different demographics that you ask for. So if you're focused on first-time home buyers, again, you can just do apartment complexes. You could also do demographics for recent college graduates, newlyweds, newly engaged, but again, each demographic that you add, you're adding to the overall cost per piece of your direct mail campaign. Each time you add a demographic, it's going to add to the cost per piece, and some demographics can get quite expensive. Like newly engaged is going to be an expensive list. You'll probably pay somewhere around 25, 27 cents per name for newly engaged. And now you're talking about the $2 a piece mail. Now, but you're talking also about a highly focused piece of mail. So you gotta weigh the differences there. If your subject is VA loans, you can certainly target area military bases and hit every address around the area military bases. You probably got a good bet that if you're hitting a neighborhood right next to a military base, you're probably hitting a good number of veterans and that can take advantage of those benefits. Excuse me. Sorry about that. You can also target lists and get really, really intricate, in a specific area that has a veteran in the home. Not necessarily what it shows you. It doesn't necessarily state whether or not they own the home, but it shows you that a veteran lives in that home. But again, you're talking about a very expensive list at that point. The more demographics that you add, the more expensive it gets. If your subject is renovation loans, you could really do, for a very broad list, it's not going to cost you anything. Target some of your older neighborhoods, the neighborhoods that have been around a little while, more than 15 or 20 years. Don't target your new construction places. That's probably not going to help you with a renovation loan. You want to target your older neighborhoods where the homes are maybe still have some shag carpeting or the old Formica countertops in them. You can also target homeowners within a home for more than 5 years. You can get really, really targeted on a list and focus in on homeowners that have owned that home for 5 years or more. But again, you're talking about the more specific and narrow you get with your list, the more that list is going to cost you. Yeah, target the older neighborhoods because they're going to need to renovate. And what's cool about that is you're with the older neighborhoods, you're not only getting the renters that are there in terms of purchasing a home, but you're also getting the people who are homeowners there with the older homes, and so you're working refi and new purchase business all at the same time when you're doing that kind of thing. And I love that renovation home loan as a niche type of presentation to homeowners, and I believe Ad Nauerall is going to be doing one of those. So I'm going to kind of reach out to him and see what his plans exactly are on that. Once you have consumers RSVPing, you have to keep them interested, and that's the big part. So you've created these cool flyers, and you're getting people to call you up. You've got this video out there, and people are calling you up. You got people RSVPing. You sent out this direct mail thing, and people are emailing you saying to save their seat. Cool. You've got to keep them interested. You're going to start marketing this a solid month before or maybe even more before your actual event date. And so people that sign up early, now that keep in mind, here's a little side note that I don't have on a slide. It's a little side note that you need to hear. If you start marketing this 2 months before your event date, the first 30 days, don't freak out if you got nobody RSVPing. Again, it goes back to that whole urgency thing. Redo your entire, invite process again, and you'll see the closer you get to the date, the more and more of those invites start to happen quicker and quicker. But you need to have a confirmation follow-up plan in place. And so the follow-up plan for confirmation is I like to do 2 emails and a call. And so you're going to send an email. Send not D. Send an email with the details as first. You're going to send a second email 1 week prior. And there's a little ninja trick on that second email I'm going to show you guys here that you're going to love. And then call 2 days prior with a this or that question. You're not calling 2 days prior with a asking, confirming that they're coming. You're calling with a this or that question. And so that first email does not need to have a call to action. You're really just getting them to see your name again. That's really all you're doing. It's a branding thing, especially if they've signed up early and you're you're 3 or 4 weeks out from the thing. You're really just getting them to see your email again. Hello, Freddie. Thanks for registering for the What Every First-Time Homebuyer Should Know seminar. Here are the details for you to attend. Positano's Italian Restaurant, 2266 Tampa Road, Palm Harbor, Florida, blah, 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 blah. So I gave the details. Now, I did not put the time in there, and that's a mistake. I do want the time in there, and I also want golly, I didn't do this one very good at all. I meant to have the date and the time in there. You want to have the date and time in there. I apologize on that, guys. I should have had the date and time in there. We look forward to seeing you there, but have the date and time in there as well. And that's the first email again. You're just trying to get them to see your name again. The second email is a confirmation, but you're going to build exclusivity to make sure you keep their interest. You're not really asking for them to confirm that they're coming. What you're doing is you're building exclusivity, and your confirmation comes in the form of not hearing from them. So that sounds something like this. Hello, Freddie. We are really getting excited about next week's class on what every first-time home buyer should know. The response has been tremendous. I have several people on a waiting list. Listen to me, guys. You have several people in this email, in this second email, you have several people on a waiting list, whether you have anybody on a waiting list or not. Okay? Because that builds exclusivity. It lets them know that they've got access to something that other people would like to have that don't have it. It builds exclusivity. And then my confirmation, again, is in the form of not hearing from them. If you are unable to attend, please let us know as soon as possible so we can allow one of the people on the waiting list to attend. Oh, I hit my mute button, but it never muted. I'm sorry for sneezing in your ear, guys. I hit my mute button, I swear to goodness, but it didn't mute my microphone. It doesn't look like. I looked down and my light was not on, so if I sneezed in your ear, sorry about that. But again, I'm getting my confirmation by not hearing from them. If you are unable to attend, please let us know as soon as possible. Building that exclusivity again so we can allow one of the people on the waiting list to attend. We look forward to seeing you next week. Saying that can force the caller into saying that they will meet you in person without waiting for the luncheon seminar. Sure. You know, they could say, well, why don't you, is there any chance we could meet now and that way somebody else could go to the seminar? I really didn't want to be there for the lunch. Yeah, it absolutely could. It could open up a conversation. But the main thing that you're doing in that email is just you're not asking to confirm. You're building exclusivity, and you're letting them know that if they want to back out, they've got to let you know. You're putting it on their plate to back out of the not being there as opposed to confirming whether or not they're attending. Very important difference to note there, guys, is that you're not confirming. You're giving them an opportunity to tell you that they're not going to be there, but you don't want to implant the thought into their head by calling and saying, hi, I'm calling to confirm whether or not you're going to be there tomorrow for the seminar on what every first-time home buyer should know. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to be able to be there. Thanks for calling, though. Because that's the expectation, is that you can, you don't call and confirm, oh, cool, I can get out of this. No. So that's the email, the second email, and the phone call, again, is not a confirmation call. It is a this or that question. Even if there is not a true this or that option. If you're doing a seminar and you don't have a this or that option, there's no choice on lunch, There's going to be, whether if they can drink coffee, they can drink soda, they can drink water, they can drink tea, they can drink whatever they want other than alcoholic, but there's no choice on that. That's okay. You need to call them with a this or that question. And the reason you're doing this, again, you are confirming that they're coming there, not by asking to, not confirming, but by them not denying or them answering the question. That's your confirmation. And it's pretty simple itself. It goes, hey there, Mr. McBuyer, ring, ring. Hey, Mr. McBuyer, it's Paul Baxter over at, and I should have put that in there. It's Paul Baxter over at Legacy Mortgage Group. I'm calling about the what every first-time home buyer should know class tomorrow. I just wanted to know, do you prefer regular or decaf coffee? Decaf, got it. Okay, my friend, I'll see you tomorrow. That's it. Hey, Mr. McBuyer, Paul Baxter over at Legacy Mortgage Group. I'm calling about the what every first-time home buyer should know class tomorrow. Do you want the chicken or the beef? The beef. Great. Got it. Okay, my friend, I'll see you tomorrow. Do you want the tea or the soda tea or the water? You know, if I'm doing lunch and it comes with coffee and dessert, guess what? The server, they're going to get a choice of either coffee, decaf, or regular, but I've got an excuse to find out and get them to answer me, yes, you know, decaf. Great. Got you down for decaf. Got you down for showing up. Is the reality of the answer. Great. Got you down for beef. Check. Got you down for showing up. Awesome. You're a tea drinker. Perfect. Got you down. They still have an opportunity. Yes, you will get some people that will say, oh, you know what, I'm not going to be able to make it tomorrow. But you didn't implant the thought in their mind. You're going to get some of those, but you will get a higher percentage of them if you implant the thought in your mind. But you just don't implant that thought in their mind. You're not calling to confirm. You're calling to find out if they would like this or if they would like that. And that is all. You can post your invitation on Facebook. You can share it on LinkedIn. You can tell everyone you can to get butts in your seats. That is it for my presentation on getting the butts in the seats for your consumer presentations. And going back to James's question on how do you introduce yourself to them, call, letter, cold call, in person. He's talking about the apartment complex managers. Apartment complex managers are notorious for not taking calls. They usually have 2 or 3 buffers before they'll take a call. So the best way to talk to the apartment manager is to walk in. And you typically want to walk in at lunchtime-ish, or between about noon and 2 o'clock, because the 2 people that is the buffer, which are the persons that first, they're the pre-qualification people. They ask all the first questions of a potential renter, apartment renter, when they walk in the door. They answer all the questions when a current renter calls up about getting some maintenance on their bathroom sink. They handle those things. The apartment manager, they buffer all the apartment manager stuff. The apartment manager comes in and closes the deal once they've pre-qualified a specific person, or when the 2 renters out front got some information and they need a credit check, the apartment manager does those things. They're also the one that dictate whether or not you get an opportunity to drop flyers off in the neighborhood. They dictate whether or not you get a chance to put your flyer into the monthly newsletter that gets dropped in every single person's doorway. And so that person is, the 2 people in front typically take lunch around noon to 2 o'clock. That's when your best time to go in is, because you can typically get right to the apartment manager when the 2 front people are at lunch or on a tour. Just don't do it when she's in there, when they're in there with a potential renter. You do not want to. It's just like with dealing, talking to a real estate agent at an open house. They're at a constant open house, the apartment managers are. And so be smart about the way that you approach them. Cool? What was the name of the class you recently did? Facebook for VA veterans. I'll have to look that up for you, James. I'll email that to you. Guys, girls, that is it for us for today. Looking forward to a great class. I'll be shooting y'all an email and making an announcement on tomorrow's class for you as soon as possible. Just got to sure up a couple of things and we'll get that announcement to you. Look forward to seeing you guys on the flip side. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and we will see you right back here, same time, same channel tomorrow. Bye now.